Welcome in, everyone. It's time to get into some Rocket League on a fine and festive Thursday afternoon, turning it into evening. I'm Hell Monkey Man in the booth alongside one of the greatest faces, voices, and presences you could ever have before it is the Christmas season. Mr. Bepic joins me today as we get into the LOS Scholastic Champs Spring Invitational. Bepic, how you feeling, my man? It is a hot day, but also we got some hot competition coming up.
Hey, I'm feeling great. I'm down here in Alabama, so I'm hoping just watching Rocket League from the northern part of the United States will help cool me off just a little bit, but my hopes for that are very low. Either way, though, I am here for entertaining high school Rocket League. It's become a very fun hobby of mine to get very much into watching high school Rocket League. It's so crazy how good high schoolers have gotten at this dang video game. I'm very jealous.
Well, you know, they've been there for a while. We just refuse to acknowledge that they were all sitting near that high school level. I mean, the majority, I think the average, Rocket League, I guess, team age, especially at the next coming major, is like 19.99. But that did start off in the high school sphere. But in case you guys are not aware, LOS were able to put on this awesome Spring Invitational. Group stages were yesterday. Today, we have dwindled 8 teams down to just 4. We got 2 semifinals and a final to be able to figure out who's the best out of who is left with the rest. And I think, like you were saying, Bepic, we got some northern-style teams to really heat things up as they went from yesterday into today. And we got, I think, a lot of Illinois representation to get through as well.
Yeah, so 2 Illinois schools will be playing in today's semifinals and maybe grand finals, depending on how they perform in semis. But that's Thornton Fractional South and Wheaton North are the 2 Illinois squads competing today. And then you have the Esports Ohio champion who competed yesterday in the round robin in Lima Shawnee. And I'm just going to keep reading down the list. I think everyone deserves a shout today, even if you didn't make it to semis. But the champions from Indiana were Union City. And then from Idaho, the champion was Rigby. And then Michigan High School Esports Federation crowned the champion in Linden, who you will get to see today. They went 13-0, 52-4 in games in their state competition, which is insane. First of all, they averaged almost 5 goals per game, which we'll talk a lot about later once they are actually on stream. But then from Nebraska, 2 schools, David City and Franklin. And the districts that sent 2 schools, that means they were champions in different divisions. So single A, double A, D3, D4, that sort of thing.
You know, I love seeing that because, you know, I came from playing a lot of football over in Texas, and, you know, they have everything from 6A football now. It was 5A whenever I stopped, but 6A, all the way down to something called 6-man. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but 6-man football, literally just 6 dudes on your team. And it's a weird shaped field, but every single division having 2 separate kinds. Same thing is now starting to get elaborated when it comes to esports. You have your 1A, you have your 2A. I've even seen 3A at times, but it's actually about how you're sizing up the amount of schools, and that's the amount of talent that goes there. So love seeing that we can be able to not just find the talent, but also diversify based on how big populations are and how big the ranks are. But it's big time right now. This Spring Invitational is putting up all those separate champions, and then we've been able to tear them down from those wonderful 8 down to just 4. And our first match coming up here, Bepic, is going to be an Illinois versus Nebraska Corn v. Corn style matchup with Wheaton North and David City. Let's make it hot and ready. Let's get into a best of 7.
All right, we're getting just straight into it here. Wheaton North yesterday actually went 3-0 in the round robin stage, 9-2 overall in their regular season. They got 2 GC1s and a Champ 3 on their team, but David City, they went 1-2 yesterday, even though they've got 2 GC3s and a Champ 3. So I don't know exactly how this one is going to shake out in all honesty. So I'm just going to sit back, kind of enjoy myself, and watch some wonderfully entertaining Rocket League unfold.
Yeah, I'm sure that we're going to get kind of an identity for much of this. And you have the rank kind of mix up at times, and you never know what you're going to get. When it comes to the talent pools at these high school levels, there's not exactly recruitment, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but there is at least influences for getting the right place of peeps and the right students at the right times. First minute, a lot of neutral ball here at midfield as we had some early navigating here by Wheaton North. They're trying to be able to jam it through the near side post and they can't get it through.
Good try, though. An early opportunity for Wheaton North, and If those opportunities continue to be generating, then David City could be in trouble, because that was a high percentage look that Wheaton North weren't able to come up with. But they try again. A good shot. That orange net. The follow-up, no good. Saved by Nerd Justin. The defense of David City is doing work right now.
Trying to find it. But it was that same side post. They were wearing it thin, putting dents, bumps, bruises, and everything to bend the pipes. And Justin, though they bring it down, that doesn't give their teammate enough time. Duck had to cover up as that one got over the top of their head.
It's funny, all the work that those hard struck balls sent towards the David City net did led just like this light little lobbing shot going in, which you'd be thinking it'd be the opposite, with the hard struck hits being the ones that turn into goals, with the slow lobs being saved. But now David City's defense, for as well as they did through the first kind of minute of that onslaught, eventually they did fall to pieces. Great pressure, great opening out of Wheaton North.
Yeah, it's sometimes just taking some pace off the ball in general, and of course just kind of dwindling down to nothing. We've not seen a lot of boost on the side of David City as they've been stuck in their own back half, and in fact Wheaton North is taking massive advantage of the amount of offense they've been able to generate. 5 shots to nothing, 3 saves, 1 apiece right now out of David City. But you don't want to be known for your defense in Rocket League. You want to be known for how you attack, and this counterplay, it only takes 1. David City gets it done.
So far, in the first 2 minutes and change of game 1, David City's only spent 30% of that on the offensive side of the ball. So they've had to kind of live in counterattack mode. That was only their first shot on target this game, but they make the most of it. They tie us up, and despite all that defense, this is a very manageable game for David City. Wheaton North as well, but David City's been backed up a lot. Just sprung a trap.
And sometimes, these students, these teams, they keep all their cards close to the vest. They don't want to reveal too much too early. You have a long bracket ahead of you. You had only 3 matches to play yesterday, but today is, if you want to make it through, you got to get through 2 best of 7s. And now, as the turtled up David City been able to advance, they've been able to find themselves in a long-standing presence on the field. Duck trying to leap over as Justin had to bail out with no boost. Cloudsy will actually lose out on the touch, but Justin had already made his way all the way to the back defense.
Good interception there by Zach Attack. Forces a slight mistouch out of Duck if anyone is there for Wheaton North, but quite just bide their time, control possession, take a nice shot top right, and absolutely dents the woodwork, but doesn't lead to a goal. Again, David City surviving in defense, but more and more pressure being built up by Wheaton North.
See how congested it gets into that same corner. That right side post, not exactly the one they want to be just colluding into, but they definitely are at times. You see them having to escape now. Cloudsy will get that corner boost, and they'll fight for that over ball possession. And Zach simply puts a threat just nearby. Again, this same right side post, a favorable rotation piece here by the Falcons of Wheaton North. But it's Justin that could get a breakaway. Zach Attack should be able to turn on it. It takes 2 to tango and 2 to get this clear out to midfield again.
Well, with 80 seconds left, Zach Attack trying to claim more possession here for Wheaton North. And Justin, great attack on the ball at the midfield line. Flip that pressure onto Wheaton North, force them to play from behind with the boost game, the speed game, just for a little bit. As in the final 60 seconds, next mistake could be massive in terms of how this series starts off. Again, it's a best of 7, so there is a ton of weight on taking game 1, but this is a good opportunity for Wheaton North. Mystic Turtle, though, misses their shot as the ball waterfall down, and again, David City get out unscathed.
I love that shot, though, because you did have Grumpy that was just sitting right behind as Cat was just chilling, waiting to see if anything would squirt out, and Turtle just said, yo, I'm taking this from the top shelf. And again, they're doing it as Justin commits away. That leaves Duck on an island. They're going to have that boost threatened. No, it's just a centering pass. This one a takeaway. Now Zach Attack with no boost. You see already they're looking to counterplay as just Cloudsy was looking to make that same rotation as they come through again. Both sides streaking into the stripes. Not exactly the sure thing. The setup is there, but a wise decision. Zach Attack now on the 1-2 island. They're saved out by Grumpy Cat.
Oh, what a good cut, and that's a nice stop by Duck right there, because if Grumpy Cat gets momentum in the transition to offense, that could be dangerous for David City, as they've committed a lot into the offensive zone on that last possession. So we get to overtime, everything even through game 1. What a treat this first semifinal has been so far.
10 shots to 4, by the way. You definitely have a lot of generated offense out of Wheaton North, but David City's been able to clean it up. Now you got to be careful. The same spot. It goes off the pipeline. That one could have found itself a little bit more cleanly, and I don't think the defense would have been able to respond. Turtle trying to advance this all the way to Zack Attack, who's just waiting into the stripes, and then they don't connect, so they're going to be called off rotation. Justin's going to send it off to Wall, and Turtle's going to try and make this one difficult, but a great 50 found by Justin.
I don't know how on earth David City are still cooking in this game. Their defense has survived so much, and not just quick shots and they find it clear we go back to them playing offense. No, this is Wheaton North getting shot after shot after shot on target, and somehow only finding the one goal they have so far as Duck places that ball center. They're just been beaten. Grumpier Cat center ball, and there you go. Finally, Wheaton North find their second. It took them 13 shots, but they take game one, so no harm done.
That pass, by the way, it ends up being a give and go back to Mystic Turtle, who found their teammate upfield. I think that was Grumpier Cat, but what a find. Just like, all right, I am gonna sling this one up yard to you, and then you just gotta give it back to me and I'll wink on the way. 13 shots. They got 3 more shots in that overtime there, Bepic, and David City wasn't able to generate much. Game number 1, obviously it's simply kind of the starting tone for this semifinal, but if you're David City, the scouts really got to start stepping up to the plate with a little bit more generated speed going to game 2.
That speed has to start from their back line, it feels like. If they're going to give up all those shots to Wheaton North, they have to find better touches. Once they do make saves, they cannot afford to sluggishly work their way into offense, which is what was happening a lot of the time when they would start to move into the offensive end. But, hey, it's game 1. You take a second to get into the series, and then you work your way up from there. David City, to their credit, kept that game extremely close, despite all the possession that was going towards Wheaton North, who did execute when they had to. They were in overtime and finding the opening game, but David City, I mean, if they keep playing defense like that, then they're in a decent spot with just a little bit more offense.
I'm going to see a lot more. I'm going to keep a lot more focus onto, I believe, Mystic Turtle. I feel like that they were the big, just kind of foot to the throttle type of player to really get more happening for the side of Wheaton North. They were kind of that connection piece between Zack Attack, who really was kind of a lurker in his offensive nature, and then Grumpier Cat, who was just an influencer, so slowly skating away, being in the right spot. For David City, well, they can't just be opportunists. They have to create opportunities.
Well, that was a little bit of creation right there, trying to take advantage of Mystic Turtle. Taking a little bit too much time to steal the ball. They accidentally popped up instead of collected. Either way, David City are pushed back just a little bit by Wheaton North. And now we fight for possession here in the midfield third. Just Cloud, though, in a 1v1, they attack very early on. That's a confident challenge in defense. Exactly what you needed right there.
Slow control here by Mystic Turtle, but they do pick that one up. Look how they're trying to sweep away. They actually look for a bump onto just Cloudsy, but this is a much better situation at this point in time here for the Scouts out of David City, as they've been able to escape from their own back half, and that was something missing within the first minute. By the way, that comes and goes and closes here for game number 2, and Wheaton North is finding a head of wind to start working against the Scouts in this back line.
Good beat by Grumpier Cat. Good dunk as well. Sets up Zack Attack. Oh, that's beautiful from Grumpier Cat. It's where you just keep attacking the ball and see if it keeps working. Even with no boost, Grumpier Cat dives in right there, gets the ball a perfect bounce center, and Zack Attack, good awareness, ready to shoot that. 1-0 Wheaton North. That's just solid, simple, challenging offense.
It feels like it's also the same sort of situation that we saw them in the previous game. I know it took a minute to manifest, looking for this attack as well. Just Cloudsy finds it off the opposite side post. But where you have the early defender on the near side wall of that right post, then you're giving up the same space.
Whoa.
Oh my lord! Just Cloudsy comes up with a massive save off of what could have been an own goal.
Now pass out, intercepted by Mystic Turtle. That is great situational awareness. Intercepting what could have been a nice passing play by David City as they broke out of defense, but now placed back into it. And Nerd Justin, I'm not sure how they got away from that play without giving up a goal. It's so awkward at the moment for David City. They need more possession. They can't afford to play more awkward defense like this, I feel, before they concede again.
They're now trying so many different plans. They're actually having to fake out Wheaton North at their own goal line. That is kind of crazy. And you can't persist like that because then they're going to start going for literally everything. And they were already, but now they're going to do it even harder. Rotating the exact same side, by the way. The handoff is not going to be found. And if you're Zacatec, you must retreat, finding that ball in transition. The good news is that David City, even for all the defense that to be stuck on, they don't allow a lot of goals to at least come off of this offense.
No, which is extremely impressive. I don't know, again, how possession is 60-40 in favor of Wheaton North. They've got 4 shots in the first couple of minutes. There isn't a ton, but David City, despite all of those looks going the other way, they do find ways to get out. Grump your cat, putting them right back under the gun on the defensive side of the ball, but Duck trying to provide a clear. They get as far as Zacatec, but a nice 50-50 sets up a shot from just Cloudsy. Mystic Turtle will stop it, field it, and look clear.
Nice look there again, trying to hand it over to Grumpier Cat. And there was actually a lot of respect in the fact that they thought Mystic Turtle was going to bang that one downfield. Instead, keeps possession. Nice backup. Mystic Turtle again trying to just do it himself if he can. Keeping Grumpier Cat nearby. That's a shot. That's going to go just off the top face of the crossbar. And Duck, not a lot of boost, so they're trying to power play. But Zacatec just takes a step away and then runs right back into that back third. Turtle, can he get this one to fall? He's looking for a bump. He gets it. A nice setup to their teammate, but they can't get through the second line.
Again, good setup. Just Cloudsy, though, came up huge on the goal line. And now Nerd Justin, huge on the other goal line, scoring David City's first with a wonderful air dribble.
Look at this, in just second touch, bang, right over the last line of defense, and they stretch them too thin. And it was because they used so many resources for the side of Wheaton North on that previous attack. It was a wonderful setup play. But if you don't get through that line, you have to be ready for the counterplay, which is where David City has just put all their eggs into that one basket. Now can they resist on this final minute of play?
We'll see. They could use a game win here. They have been backed up so much this game. Mr. Turtle, an opportunity stopped again by Nerd Justin. The fault from Grumpier Cat never comes. They misread that ball, but that ball placed a little bit too high. Wheaton North did find another shot on target, but a little bit too much oomph on it. So David City, they break out, find a bump. Is the third man going to commit? Yes. Nerd Justin dives in, but good defense on the other side of the pitch as well.
I mean, we're looking for control right now by Justin. They get it. They have a teammate in front of them, but it's Zacatec that wants to break it up, and so they bail out from that rotation. Duck kind of caught in no man's land. Maybe no Ducks land. No land for good Ducks. I don't know. Either way, less than a half minute to go. You do see David City under fire. This is a high lob. Doug has to go up for this and hope that a teammate is nearby. Justin, in fact, is. Otherwise, that was a free shot. Still, the same wall, the same page. It's basically the same line being written by the same novelist. They're going to turn right around on it. Zacatec fades away. David City trying not to fade on this defense. One extra measure over the top line, and we drop in overtime.
Another OT. All right. David City kind of getting us here both times with some stellar defense, but off kickoff. That is dangerous. Mystic Turtle finds a shot on it with more possession in the eventual winner. Zacatec securing it for Wheaton North, and it only took 7 seconds.
7 seconds is the average of a kickoff rotational goal, and that's exactly what ended up being the possession found by the Wheaton North Falcons. Falcons eating good. They are the Predators so far in this matchup. They'll take game 2 before we progress throughout the series. 4 shots again. That matches the amount of shots that David City Scouts found in the previous game. This one just a little bit less. I think we fell 2 shots short of or shots short for Wheaton North.
2 shots short.
2 shots short. That's so hard to say.
Yeah, but it's right. It's a little bit less offense from Wheaton North, at least from a shots perspective. They had even more time spent in the offensive half, though, that game, as they were about 60% field domination in game 1. That time it was 70% field domination. David City, they're spending so much time on their defensive end, and yet they're forcing overtimes. They're getting that one counterattack necessary to tie, and if they can just get over the hump of these overtimes, the speed bump that's costing them now a 2-0 series deficit, then they're right there in this series, but they have got to find a way to pull wins out of these games.
Yeah, it's been tough. I feel like we've seen, 3 separate counterplays, one in each of the previous games now here for the side of David City, but you can't just be starting from your own back half. I say that, but I got to cast a collegiate team that did that, and then they won their, I think, the emergence level championship. championship. So what am I saying? We got a game number 3. Can defense beget a good offense? Maybe we start in France to be able to find it. Justin! Oh boy, they have to get that first save already from the crossbar.
It's so unconventional, but it's working. David City, they know how to play their style of Rocket League. And I misspoke earlier as there was a slight miscommunication, but David City are not 2 GC3s and a Champ 3. They're 2 Champ 1s and a Champ 2. And they're going up against a Champ 3 and 2 GC 1s, which at a rank disparity, David City is performing admirably. They are showing you right now the value of team cohesion. They play around each other so well. There's the occasional double commit, but they are reading these shots on, these passing plays from Wheaton North. They're not conceding a whole lot. They just have to figure out offensively, as again, they're down 1-0 very early on.
Yeah, this is actually one of the first goals I think that we've gotten in the first minute of play, considering the amount of pressure that the Falcons usually pour on. This one feels like they're starting to really ramp things up. They do average about 3 shots in the first minute for the first 2 games, now including this third one in this repetition. So David City, from rank differential, they've been able to keep it close, but they have to find that nice little advancement onward.
It's a decent read for David City. I think they got pushed back as well by how hard that ball took a skip off the back wall. But just Cloudsy, I like that. It's a creative offensive possession, buying time for teammates to grab boost, get back out in front of the ball. Here they go again, dodging a bump. Not that one, though. And so the third player back of Wheaton North, after everybody was taken out, just Cloudsy, is going to find a big clear and the shot on, but on the respawn, it's a save for Cloudsy.
Yeah, just Cloudsy just getting a bit bullied. Between one bump and then another that finished them off, they did end up in a nice respawn position. They ended up getting that fortuitous save. You see everyone pushing up onward as Mystic Turtle looking for anyone. No one wants to fully commit. They're kind of playing with their food from distance. Bit of rope-a-dope right now. Zack Attack just wants to put the body onto it. Nerd Justin's going to have to fly into his own box, and that's actually a great spot to be, considering Grumpier Cat was careening down with them and Turtle. The turn back crossbar, make it backboard and out. They're going to send the third man. Turtle sneaks up nearby. They don't even need him. The Zack Attack will find another goal.
And Zack Attack, the overtime hero from game 2, pops that ball up and just follows it himself as the defense got spread thin by that extra little touch on the ball out of Wheaton North. And they're being a little bit more methodical, at least on that possession, with their touches. Wheaton North are finding the gaps in the David City defense rather than force them with just brute challenge game on the offensive side of the ball. And I like that slight adjustment right there to get their second goal. We'll see what Zack Attack supplies us now is Justin. Great stuff, and then clear the midfield line.
This is the first time of all 3 games that we've seen a multi-goal differential. So that's something of improvement now for the side of Wheaton North as they're starting to really find their wheels underneath them. Cloudsy goes for a barren 50-50, but it does come up very fruitful as Justin moves it upfield. Now they end up stealing that corner boost, and Cloudsy goes all the way into traffic. They're trying to force out some of this more physical play. Cloudsy again has to call off his teammate as he'd already rotated forward, and I'm pretty sure he's now just playing NASCAR. That dude just keeps rotating to the right and took every boost along the way.
Oh, it's not quite working out, though Nerd Justin on the goal line does well once, just Cloudsy back in time to make it work a second time. More shots, more pressure from Wheaton North and David City surviving. Nerd Justin, another save, their third of the game. David City's 6th save on now 10 shots on target out of Wheaton North. It's only a 2-goal game, but David City, they have got to find a clear and some kind of goal soon.
It's almost like one of those where you got to find a defensive rotation demo just to thin out an attack and clear some of that space. You do have Zack Attack stepping up a bit faster and ducking left in a 1v2. Forces it out to the corner, and that's a double commit onto the same wall as they're just trying to keep up with this speed differential. Mystic Turtle out from that back corner, and we've got 75 seconds approaching before this one might be in full sweep territory. Duck will fade back. Cloudsy forces the initial jumper, and now that's going to be Mystic. Can they just win a 1v3? That one at least gets shut down.
So Zack Attack going to waste more clock, get Wheaton North closer and closer, securing this game 3 victory. But that's a clear, that's a great play by Nerd Justin. But Zack Attack, third man back for Wheaton North, does so well to find a save away, even with the unexpected touches. Zach gets a way out, though. Duck, return to sender, puts it on the blue back wall. And countered by Wheaton North being in position. They're spread thin at the moment, Monkey, but David City still just one shot on target this entire game.
You can make a sandwich thinner by squeezing the loaves on the top and the bottom. They were trying to do the same thing for the defense out of Wheaton North, but they couldn't get through the meat and potatoes that's in the middle. I don't know if a sandwich made of meat and potatoes, but you know, it sounds delicious. It'd be a lot to eat, and this one is a lot to handle. Grumpy or Cat? I'm pretty sure this one will put it on ice.
Yeah, I think so. 3 goals in 14 seconds going to be very difficult to come by, which Wheaton North looking at a 3-0 series lead, and David City having to reverse sweep now. That's something that rarely happens in best of sevens, and if that last goal didn't put the game on ice, this one from Mr. Turtle certainly does.
Just gotta score a goal every 2 seconds. 2.25, fast math, 2.5, I don't know. Well, that one, I've been waiting for this Wheaton North Falcons group to break out a little bit more. It feels like this was the game that was really starting to stamp it in the right direction for them. As the timer ticks down, we tick up to a 3-0 position. Only one more before they can get themselves into a grand final spot here for this Invitational. The Falcons are currently soaring high.
Absolutely. They've now hit the 10-goal mark in 3 games, 12 shots in that last one, which goes up from the previous game, and they take David City down to just 1. So a solid-looking Wheaton North so far. I am extremely impressed with the #1 overall seed coming out of the group stage, Monkey. They have done a great job coming in here, and despite close games, they are still finding ways to get out, at least in games 1 and 2, and then game 3, they just found a way to dominate.
Yeah, they did. I'm actually confirming with our production as well. I thought these were BO7s in semis, but okay, so we are actually remaking the booth. So, all right, making sure that was happening. I saw a lot of people leave. I just want to make sure. Okay, so we're going to be going into this next one as well. And I feel like, we look at these happen in real time, Bepic, and obviously that's why we were speaking on different like divisional play, different divisional champions, and sometimes you get kind of massive, stretches of, all right, this team obviously has a surplus, a deep roster and program of higher ranks, but that doesn't mean it's non-competitive. It's just kind of, that higher elevation to have to go and meet. How do you keep, now that kind of, I think you're director for an esports program, or been working with some coaching?
Assistant
To the regional manager. How do you keep people kind of motivated in a Scholastic sphere to be able to keep grinding as well as dealing with these competitions where you can see that difference?
Motivation, in my experience, comes with winning and being victorious. And so once you are winning, it's very easy to stay motivated to keep grinding. And my teams do win, so I don't have any issues with motivation. But if you are at the top, you have to just be challenged. Often and again, like David City went 13-0. In their Nebraska high school esports scene. And now they get here, and against Wheaton North, they have been extremely backed up on the Rocket League pitch. And so for them, I think, hopefully, if they are proper competitors, which I assume they are, playing this Wheaton North team, struggling against them, should only fuel them for next season. And I think we got 1 senior on this team and a couple of freshmen. I'll have to double check that and then get back to you in a second. But if they're returning to the high school scene, you use this motivation to say, all right, we got as far as the LOS Scholastic Invitational semis last season. We're getting to the championship next season. We got a target on Wheaton North now, and that motivates you to get that much better at this wonderful game.
It reminds you that there's still more to do. Work is never done in that competitive atmosphere. I love it. But Duck, oh my goodness, you still see how this defense can respond. A late term, they get grinded out, a bit of fatigue starts to hit you, but creativity, not just offensively, but defensively for the Scouts, has been allowing them to survive. Can they do so for this first minute? Can they keep Wheaton North from knocking down the doors?
So far, yeah, a minute in, again, David City holding back a Wheaton North team that has had the bulk of the field domination. Exactly going to continue it. very much low in the boost department, picking up 12 there. Flick forced a double commit. There's no one else to challenge, so Zach's just going to do it himself. So David City able to read the play, find a clear, and operate their offense a bit. Demo.
Oh, Zach Attack comes up with the save. I don't know if they both stretched for the demo. We got to see all the smoke and fire and flames. And I think that 2 players were rotating over. It was a great look to find their first lead here for the Scouts. Zach Attack is going to force this one out by Duck. That ends up going over their head, and then they get a counterplay brewing. They can be able to turn this into a hook pass if they can. Oh, their teammate gets bumped. A great play by Zach Attack just before they give up their life.
I did love that play from Duck, and earlier when I said I thought there was a senior on the team, that was a junior on the pitch right now, which is Duck. So kind of the de facto age leader on the team, doing well to lead a counterattack there, but now just Cloudsy. Players stepping up to move the ball down the pitch. Nerd Justin following it up. Double on the cards, you bets! Nerd Justin, what a shot out of the freshman from David City.
That demo by Cloudsy cleared the way, and all they had to do was trust in Justin to get the double that they had just wide open for themselves. They sealed the deal on it, and we see our first lead come and go as the Falcons strike back immediately.
That's just not cool. Come on, David City get their first lead of this series in Game 4 with an emphatic double tap. And then it's all taken away off kickoff. Come on, the Rocket League god turning a blind eye to Utopia Coliseum right now. We need some justice.
Oh, man. Justin Justice, maybe? I'm waiting on it.
Maybe.
Midway mark, trying for another one, but you know what? You quickly get reminded what it's like to be punched in the mouth once you get an uppercut to the old teeth, and that's what it feels like on a kickoff goal like that. All that work. But we'll see if it becomes something all a brief nature, because it's going to be a lead change this time going to the Falcons out of Wheaton.
Only justice is for Grumpy or Cat. Unfortunately for David City, that is the fact right now. As they score the second goal in Game 4 for Wheaton North, and the go-ahead goal just past the halfway point. Grumpy or Cat stepping up big time right now for Wheaton North. I mean, going down for the first time in a series can shake a team, but Wheaton North apparently know how to play from behind as well as in front, because Zach Attack is now scoring another goal for the Falcons.
Duck, he actually rotated up after taking that back corner boost from kickoff, and then, well, all you have to do is win past one. They did not have the favorable jump. So at the 2:22 mark, 4 goals have been acquired. It was a quiet venture of rotation and possession, and then this one just broke loose in a big way. Trying to get a putback shot though. Justin is going to test out Wheaton's defense, but Wheaton North stabilize and immediately try to strike upfield. We got a couple minutes coming up here, Bepic, because, you know, you find your first, but then you're kind of caught looking at the scoreboard for a second too long.
Yeah, and David City, again, kind of caught looking at the ball right there. Just Cloudsy went sailing past it. They have to sort out these mistakes right now. I wonder if pressure is getting to them at the moment. Staring down the barrel of a best-of-7 reverse sweep. Not easy to do, to perform, but hey, that's a wonderful play. Keep setting up stuff like that. Get creative. Your offensive ability will reward you. Beats on the other side of the ball. Grumpy or Cat low on boost. Just to play it out to the side. So Cloudsy is center ball, but there's no one there for an immediate finish. So Zach Attack tries to find it clear, but they will lose car privileges as a result of it. But upon the respawn, they get back to the block.
75 seconds to go. There's been some good looks. It can't just be looks. It has to be solid possession as well. A couple times it was 1-2. Duck has beaten everyone. Just put it on target. Now that is how you manifest something out of nothing. Cloudsy and Duck, good connection.
That was the 7th shot on target for David City rather, this game, which is nearly more than all the other 3 games combined. They are finally stepping up to the plate here against Wheaton North, and they're doing a lot of their work with consistent offense. For one of the first times this series that I've noticed, David City has the majority of the field domination. 53% of this game has been spent in their offensive half, so they're making adjustments. They're controlling possession, and they're being rewarded with more offense on the board.
They're playing so much looser and so much faster. This is something that you wish you had more time to develop. Make it a best of 9, Scholastic. Come on, LOS. Let's bring it back in. I want to see this team continue to cook because currently they have thrown up the fire. There's a lot of extra oil starting to sizzle with 30 seconds to go. David City looking to get some extra marching orders to press on in. They win a touch off the angle. Good defense by Turtle.
Was a great save, stepping up big for Wheaton North. I'm sure maybe they feel a little bit of pressure right now with David City making such a comeback in Game 4. But, well, pressure or not, Grumpy or Cat has a hat trick in Game 4. Stepped up big time for their team. The junior on Wheaton North might have just secured this semifinal.
Well, 12 seconds to go. You got to score with at least some time remaining. Do you go for a possession on this kickoff? No, you power through. Justin and Cloudsy want to go for one extra dunk. Can they carry it from the back line? It looks like that old Kronos is going to get us all, and that will be it for David City. You're going to see Wheaton North, the Falcons, moving on into the grand finals for the LOS Scholastic Champs Spring Invitational. But kudos over to the scouts out of David City. I mean, they made it crazy with this kind of defense.
Yeah, I mean, great run to get here. Great defense shown in all 4 games, really. And then Game 4, their offense finally started operating at a level I think they would be happy with. But unfortunately, they could not get through the Falcons of Wheaton North. They went 3-0, Monkey, in round robin for a reason, the #1 seed for a reason, and they showed it with that 4-0 sweep.
Oh yeah, this is a squad that also knows how to play from not a perfect venue as well. Yeah. I love teams that don't have perfect records, and I know everyone's like, oh yeah, you try to achieve greatness and perfection. I like a team that knows how to learn. And in their regular season, when they were in the IHSEA over in Illinois, this team went 9-2 and then won their division. And you can obviously tell they learned, they adapted, and they did so, even if it was all of one single game at the end term of that best of 7, to be able to keep David City from finding too much momentum. And credit to David City. That team started to really cook after we had that bit of a server and lobby change. So want to be able to see them be able to come back. Nebraska obviously has a great squad right there.
They do. I'm sure we'll continue to see them on a more national stage as they improve. Again, no graduating seniors on that David City team, and yet they're still here in the semifinals. So well done to them. Wheaton North claiming the first grand finals spot. I can't wait to see if it's an all Illinois matchup in the grand finals, or if there's something to be said about Illinois kind of dominating this event.
Well, what's Illinois' main export? It's not corn like everyone else. That's just Iowa and Nebraska, right? I don't know. Midwest things.
No idea.
So someone will look it up for me later on. I'm sure we'll figure it out as we go along. Another semifinal will be on the way, but a quick special thanks over to League OS for powering this awesome Spring Champions Invitational for everyone to be able to come in at a national competition level and play for a little bit of glory in late term into spring, summer, just late Scholastic, and just take an extra step in what everyone has been able to find. If you want to be able to look at all the extra things that you can get from League OS, do check out the portal.leagueos.gg to be able to check out a collegiate portal profile that you can make today. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of these students that would love to be able to play at that next level. But at the next level, after this next break, we're going to have our next semifinal between Thornton Fractional South out of Illinois versus Linden High School out of Michigan. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back in just a moment.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one, only one. until